Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the basics of VCV Rack. This episode will be a sort of an introduction to VCV Rack, what it is, how to install it, how to install the different plugins, and a bit about the core modules that come with VCV Rack. In this series, I will try to cover all the basics like what is a patch, what is control voltage. I'll take a closer look at the fundamental modules, various ways of modulating the sound, and more. And of course, if you have any requests, feel free to leave a comment. Let's start! So first of all, what is VCV Rack? VCV Rack is a free, open source, virtual modular synthesizer. It's open source, which means that its code, how it's built, is available for all to use and modify, and this will be the first thing that you will notice when starting to use VCV Rack. It's the ever-growing community of users and developers working together, creating more content for others to use and enjoy. If it's creating more plugins, or different design ideas, or even requesting features and custom-made plugins. And if you haven't already, go ahead and join the VCV Rack official user group on Facebook and have a look for yourselves how active and dynamic the community is. And again, VCV Rack is a virtual modular synthesizer. This is one example of how a modular synthesizer looks like. It's built out of different modules, each unique in its own way, creating a sort of a Frankenstein sonic monster able to produce a wide range of sounds from all sorts of blips and bloops through peaceful soundscapes and all the way to crazy pandemonium and everything in between. And VCV Rack is all of this but virtual and mostly free. There are some official commercial VCV Rack modules and also some third-party commercial modules, but we will get to this later on when we will see how to install the different plugins. So like I said, VCV Rack is a virtual modular synthesizer, and also here we are dealing with modules and patch cables, and there is also the option to control almost everything with MIDI, so with your MIDI keyboard or controller, and to combine hardware with software and create a hybrid rack. Let's see now how to install VCV Rack and also how to add and install different plugins. This is the website, vcvrack.com, and we have now version 0.6.2b. You have three different download options for Mac users, Windows users, and Linux users. All you have to do is download the one you need and run the file. I'm on Windows, but the process should be the same on all platforms. After downloading the file and running it, you can choose which VST plugin you want to install, the 30-bit one or the 64-bit one, or both. After that, you can choose where to install VCV Rack, and when you'll click Next, you will be able to choose to which folder to install the VST plugin. The VCV Bridge VST plugin allows us to send audio and MIDI from our DAW to VCV Rack, and also record VCV Rack to our DAW. I have a few videos about using the Bridge VST with Reaper, and I will put a link in the description and a card somewhere here up to those videos. After the installation is done, you can go ahead and open VCV Rack, and this is how it will look like. You can see the rails where the modules will go and a series of buttons and meters. Starting from the upper left corner, we have the new file button, so we can start a new patch. Then we have the open patch button, save and save as buttons, revert button, which will revert the patch to the last saved version. Then we have the disconnect cables cat button, which will disconnect all the cables in your patch. Watch out for this cat. Then we have the internal sample rate button, where we can select the sample rate we want and also pause the engine and the sound. Then we have the power meter button, which allows us to see how much power we are using and how much we have left before we start getting artifacts and clicks and pops. When the power meter is on, we can see a measurement of how much process time each module is consuming in milliseconds, and we have a total of 1000 milliseconds before we get an audio stutter effect. And the last button is the lock modules button, which allows us to lock the modules in place. Then we have the cable opacity and the cable tension meters, so we can change how the patch cables will be seen as we are patching along. We also have the zoom meter, so we can zoom in and out. And then we have the account section where you can create an account, so you will be able to use the plugin manager and add plugins or modules to your copy of VCV Just hit the register button and you'll be transferred to the VCV homepage, then click on register or log in if you already have an account. After you've created an account, you can go ahead and log in VCV Now, by right-clicking on the gray area, which is actually our case, we get a menu where we can select which modules we want to add, and the menu is basically divided into 3 parts. The first part is our favorite section, where we have all of our favorite modules we use often or want to check out. We just have to click on the star next to the name of the module to add it or remove it from the favorites. The second section is the main section where we can choose the modules by the creator name, if it's Befaco or Audible Instruments and so on. And then we have the tags section where we can look for a module by its tag, if it's a clock, an oscillator, reverb and so on. We also have the search bar at the top so we can search by the name of the module, the creator or its tags. And let's start by looking at the core modules that come with VCV Starting from the left, we have the audio core module, which is our main inputs and outputs module. We can choose the audio driver we want to choose, the device, the sample rate, and the block size. The lower the block size, the lower the latency, but it will use much more resources, so if you have a not so strong setup like I do, you can choose a higher block size, but it also means there will be a longer latency. Like you can see, there are 8 inputs and outputs. To the inputs we will connect all what we want to send to the main output, and from the outputs we will get what we have coming in our sound interface, if it's an instrument or a mic, and we can also send audio from the DAW into VCV Then we have 4 MIDI modules, MIDI 1, MIDI 4, MIDI CC, and MIDI trigger. Using the MIDI modules, we can control VCV using an external MIDI controller or by sending MIDI from our DAW, and I will cover the MIDI modules in a future video. We have also a blank module to help us keep the dust away and keeps us from getting electrocuted. We can also stretch the module by dragging its corners. And we also have the notes module, so we can write notes to ourselves about a patch or just some silly stuff. Other than the core modules, we also get the fundamental modules, which I will also cover in a future video, but now let's see how we can add and install new plugins or new modules from the plugin manager. First, we have to click on the Manage Plugins tab, and this will take us directly to the plugin manager. Here we have a long list of all the free and commercial plugins. Some of them have a link to the manual, so you can read the manual of the different modules and see what modules come with each pack. And some of them have also a donate link, so you can help the developers develop more plugins and contribute to the VCV effort. On the right side you can see 3 kinds of buttons, a blue free button, a red free button, and a green button with the price of the plugin. Blue means we can install the plugin, red means we have it already installed and if you want we can uninstall it, and by clicking the price button we can buy commercial plugins. So all we have to do to install a plugin is to click the blue free button and open up VCV Now you can see that there is a small red dot on the Update Plugin tab, which means that we can install the new plugin or update plugins we already own. So when we click the Update Plugin tab, it will install the plugin and asks us to close and reopen VCV and that's it, it's that easy. Now there are some plugins that don't have a free or purchase buttons, and that means that they are not in the plugin manager. In this case, I recommend you search the Facebook group for this plugin and see if you can find a zip file for it. When you download the zip file, all you have to do is place it in the plugin directory where you installed VCV and reopen VCV and the plugin will be installed. And that's it guys, this was the first episode of the basics of VCV Like I said, if you have any questions or requests, feel free to leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the bell, and have a good one.